Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I was just working on my novel and my husband is working. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I was just working mute. Okay. Sorry, I'm like making sure that I can chat with you guys at the same time that I am actually broadcasting. So I have like both my windows up. But anyways, my husband is working a really late night shift tonight and I was just like, oh my God, I need people to hang out with. So I decided to get on here and to do a live chat. So one of the things that I feel like I have been wanting to do, it's just been in the back of my mind for a long time, is talking about old makeup products that I bought a long time ago and how I still love them, because I have been doing declutters for a while now. The past several months, I haven't done one in a while because I haven't really needed anything to declutter. So I figured I kept a lot of products that I love, even though I bought a really long time ago. So as always with my live chats, please, if you feel like you want to ask me anything, like I'm pretty open book. So go ahead and ask me. It can kind of be like a Q&A sort of situation if you would like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive into the eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to talk about why I still have them in my collection. And yeah, so the first one I have, oh my gosh, this is so old. I literally got this the day or the week that it released. So this is the Urban Decay Naked 3 eyeshadow palette. So it's been a hot minute since this was released, but we have a really blinding mirror down there. I apologize for that. But if you guys have not seen this eyeshadow palette because it is so old, this is what it looks like. So within my collection, this is one of the very few pretty much like full cool tone eyeshadow palettes that I have. Hi, Colin. Okay. So this is one of the only cool tone eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection, and I still use it all the time. I've actually used it multiple times within the past month, so it might end up making one of my favorite videos. So what I love about this eyeshadow palette is that it is all cool toned. We don't have a mixture. It's not warm tone, which I feel like a lot of companies within the past 3 years have been coming out with nothing but warm toned eyeshadow palettes. So this is really refreshing. I remember whenever this came out, I was super excited about it. But the mattes in here are pretty awesome for transition shades. So like this one right here called Limit and Nooner, I love using those. Even if I'm not going to use the entire eyeshadow palette, I will definitely use those two for transition shades if I'm going for a more cool toned look. And then the shimmers in this palette are awesome. I feel like this was one of the first eyeshadow palettes I ever bought that was high end. No, I'm not going to lower my cam. So anyways, I feel like the shadows in here that are more metallic and glittery like this one, I love to wear this all over my lid. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's the shade Dust. And then this one right here in the shade Trick and Buzz. Those two are really beautiful as well for like everyday looks. And it's just an awesome palette. Also, this shade right here called Strange, it's a gorgeous like creamy kind of white vanilla shade. I love this color to put all over the inner lid to kind of give you that doe-eyed effect. And I also love to use this to highlight my brow bone if I'm going in with a very smoky eye, because it's going to differentiate that space right here in between your smoky eye and your brow. So it's just a beautiful color. I love it so much. And this is one of those palettes that I feel like even if I were to, I don't know, like get through all of these and kind of hit pan on a lot of my favorite shades in this, I would probably purchase this again. So it's just one of those palettes that's so good for what it is, which is a very awesome, cool tone palette. So I love this one so much. And then moving on, we have 2 eyeshadow palettes, and these are both from NYX. So if you guys have been around my channel for a while, they were like my ride or die for the longest time ever. So this one is called Lid Lingerie. I'll open it up for you so you can actually see. So in here we have some pretty big pans for matte shades. The entire palette is true matte. We don't have any glitter at all in this palette, which is awesome. So what I love about this is that it has a pretty good mixture of cool tone and warm tones. And I also love that it has this vanilla shade. So for me, I love whenever an eyeshadow palette has that vanilla shade that I can pop into the inner corner or also use on my brow bone. That's just one of my favorite things to find in an eyeshadow palette, especially one that's all matte. But what I love about this is that it is the ultimate everyday palette that is super inexpensive. So this is something that if you are on a really, really tight budget, or even if you're really young, like if you're a teenager and you're just kind of starting to develop your technique with makeup and just now starting to apply, this is going to be a really great palette for you because we have 3 pretty light shades that could go into your crease. And then if you want to be a little adventurous, then we have these 2 dark shades over here. So I really love this palette a lot. They're super, super creamy and buttery. The formula of this is absolutely amazing. I was super impressed whenever these came out. I just love this palette so much. And I also love that you could do a kind of like a purpley brown look. So we do have like these 2 warm shades that actually go really, really well together. And these for the outer corner to kind of deepen it up. This for me is definitely more cool tone. And then we have much more warm like chocolate over here. So these 2 colors would go really well, like the really pale violet and then this kind of neutral cool tone of brown. So I love this for its affordability. It's awesome. And then we also have NYX Cosmic Metals. So this is basically the Lid Lingerie sister in the sense that we have a lot of the same kind of family of shadows, but these are all metallic and beautiful. Oh my gosh. This shade right here is like my dream whenever it comes to that really beautiful taupey kind of brown. I love it so much. It looks gorgeous all over the lid. This is also a shade that if you have a very deep and chocolate skin tone, it would look beautiful. If you are super fair, it would look beautiful as well. It's just a very universal tone. And I love that about taupes that have shimmer because it's one of those colors that just looks beautiful on everyone. And then we also have some really awesome warm tone shades in here. So this little square right here is pretty warm except for this one. And then this one as well is like a gorgeous peach that I actually haven't used this shade right here as much. But now that I'm looking at it, I feel like that is totally in my wheelhouse at this point because I have been dying over pinks and like salmons and stuff like that. I've just been loving adding more pinks to my eye looks. So I'm obsessed with this palette so much. And I'll just show you a little swatch. Like that is really, really pigmented for a NYX eyeshadow palette. You can find this at the drugstore, Target, Ulta carries NYX, obviously. So hi. Yeah, it is so gorgeous, right? The Cosmic Metals by NYX. So I just love this palette so much. And honestly, if you are not like, if you don't have a big collection or if you just want something to use for every day, literally, these are the only 2 palettes that you will need in your life because you have all your mattes right here, cool tone and warm tone. And then we have all of the shimmers over here and they go obviously really, really well together. They complement each other nicely. So if you are looking for something to purchase on a budget for eyeshadows, I highly, highly recommend those. And I just realized I don't have like a paper towel or anything. So now I have to go through the whole video with swatches on my fingers. Let me just put it on my legs. My God, I'm so professional. All right, next up, I was thinking about not including this and actually like a couple of the eyeshadow palettes in here because they were a limited edition, but I still feel like it's good to talk about the brand in general for a couple of different reasons. So this eyeshadow palette and face palette right here is one of, if not the most loved eyeshadow palette that I have ever seen Tarte put up. So this is the Tarte and Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen eyeshadow and face palette. So this is what the packaging looks like. It's really, really cool. Obviously, Tarte hits the nail on the head every single time with packaging. They're so good. And I also love all of the different, like, sorry, I'm not trying to blind you guys, but they always put really cute little sayings on their mirrors and on their packaging. So for this one, it said, believe in yourself, love yourself, embrace your individuality, which I just think is awesome. But inside, if y'all can see, we have 9 eyeshadows, and then we have 3 different face products. So first off, looking at this highlight, y'all can probably see that it looks super, super chunky, but this is one of the most gorgeous highlights that I have ever used in my entire life. I was shocked to see how beautiful it looks on the face. I will say that it does tend to wear off throughout the day, so it's not going to be super long lasting. Not that it's even relevant anymore because it was limited edition, but sometimes you can find palettes on eBay and places like that. So anyways, for Tarte, the reason why I wanted to bring up this palette is because I feel like this was a diamond in the rough, because so many of their eyeshadow palettes that they have come out with are just dusty and crepey, and you can't even blend the eyeshadows together because they just blend away. Now, I will say this. You're super into eyeshadow palettes. Oh, well, I'm so glad that we're talking about this then, because I'm kind of doing like an overview of, sorry, I have like this nasty bruise that I got from a swing. It's a story for another time, but if you see that, it's not like someone's hitting me or anything. It's, I like hurt myself. But anyways, so I feel like with Tarte, this was probably, other than the Tarteist Pro eyeshadow palette that I have from them, the only eyeshadow palette that I have ever liked from Tarte. Like truly, truly loved and liked. Now, Tarte is one of my favorite brands of all time, even though they've just gotten themselves into some trouble over the past year with ridiculous, stupid stuff. But a lot of their face products, like their blushes, their lip products, and their foundations, I love. But anyways, back to the eyeshadow palette. So what I really love about this is that you have a ton of really unique eyeshadows, even though it doesn't look super unique. But I can tell you, let me get it closer. I know I'm like on my laptop right now, so it's going to be a little bit weird. But this chocolate brown with that gold reflect in it, can you guys see that? That is so beautiful. And then down here, we have like a taupey gray that is unlike any other taupe that I have ever seen. It's really, really beautiful. And then this gorgeous rust color also has a little bit of shimmer in it as well. So I just love this palette because it is the only eyeshadow palette other than the Tarteist Pro that I have fallen in love with. And I still use it. Like I have gone back to it about the past month and a half, and I've been using it a lot, especially this blush and this highlight. Oh my God, this highlight, y'all. I wish it would stay on my face longer because it's just, it kind of comes off. So that's a little bit frustrating, but this blush is really, really beautiful. So my point in saying this is that I feel like whenever YouTubers and beauty influencers collaborate with a brand, for the most part, every single product that I have that a beauty influencer created with a makeup brand is bomb. They're so on point. And I really think that's because beauty influencers know makeup so well. And I trust whenever a beauty influencer comes out with a product with a brand, because you know that they're going to do a good job, because their name and their reputation and their following and everyone who has ever shown them attention, that is on the line for them. So I just wanted to say that whenever you see a palette that maybe the brand isn't super great at creating, like Tarte was not super great at creating eyeshadow palettes. If you see a beauty influencer partaking in it, at least give it a shot. Like go and swatch it, go and try it out, because you will probably be pleasantly surprised. I know that Aspen Ovard, who created Santorini Sunset Highlight with Pixie Beauty, oh my God, that highlight is like probably in my top 3 highlights of all time in my entire life. I love it so much. So that just goes to show you. But anyway, she just created an eyeshadow palette, and I think it has like a blush, maybe a highlight, and like a bronzer or contour shade in it as well. But she created a palette with Tarte that I'm super excited about. Actually went to Ulta today, and I was just trying to get in and out of there. Otherwise I would have gone over and swatched it, but it looked beautiful, like very spring appropriate. So yeah, anyways, enough on that. We have 2 new palettes, not new palettes, 2 other palettes from NYX. So this one is the NYX Avant Pop palette. I remember like 2 years ago, Casey Holmes, who's one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, was talking about this eyeshadow palette. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I need that in my life. So this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. And it's actually super similar to the Lid Lingerie and the Cosmic Metals, in the sense that we have some pretty similar colors in here. But I love that this is one palette, and we also get some really awesome unique colors. So like this violet blue, and then this deep hunter army green. Oh my God, I die over. I love any sort of green that goes over brown eyes, or not goes over, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like you wear it on brown eyes and it just brings out the honey. I love it so much. But this, I love this shade right here for the transition color. It reminds me a lot of Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek. And then over here, we have kind of like a really gorgeous neutral brown. And I love this palette for the same reason that I love the Lid Lingerie and Cosmic Metals, is that for such an affordable price, you get huge pans as well as really, really great products. So you get like eyeshadows that are super blendable, and you're not having to pay an arm and a leg or an entire day's worth. I don't know what I was trying to say there. An entire day's worth of working on an eyeshadow palette. Like it's really, really affordable. All right. So our fourth NYX palette is the Go-To La Palette Indispensable. I feel like they have a couple of these. So this one has 6 eyeshadows and then 3 face products. So I actually didn't dive too much into these 4 colors right here. I just felt like I had other palettes that had kind of the same colors, so I wasn't necessarily super freaking out about those. But this shade right here is a really beautiful deep plum that's a like shimmer. It's not a metallic. It's not going to be like super crazy metallic on your lid, but it is a shimmer. So whenever the light hits it, it's going to have kind of that wet gleam to it. It's really, really beautiful. And then down here, we have a chocolate bronze, which I am obsessed with. It's such a beautiful shade. But anyways, what I was going to say about this is that I love to use this with a really, really smoky eye. Anytime I'm working with like grays and blacks and really deep blues, I love this color so much. Whenever it was like back in the day, I was going through this phase to where I just loved smoky eyes so much. I was obsessed with them. And I remember using this color a lot. And then I also love 2 things. One, that we have a lot of really awesome shimmers. I wish that there was like 2 mattes. I wish that these 2 were matte right here, or maybe even 3 mattes, because then you could do a full eye look. But what I love is that this bronzer / contour right here is a matte. So you could kind of work around it if you wanted to take this on vacation with you, because it is a full palette. We do have a really beautiful like sheen to this peachy blush. I love this blush, y'all. It is so, so nice. And then this highlight is gorgeous. It is super, super like creamy and buttery. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, you can definitely see that. Faux show. So I just love palettes that have eyeshadows and face products in it because it just makes your life easier, right? Okay, so next up we have another Tarte palette, and I feel like I'm pretty sure that this one was limited edition as well. It is the Double Duty Beauty Classic Courage. So again, we have some really beautiful packaging here. It's like a soft material, and then it has "She dreamed, she believed, and she succeeded" on the front, which I just think is so cute. Like, I love that kind of stuff. And then on the inside, of course, we have like a giant mirror right there. And then we also have 5 different eyeshadows and then one of their Amazonian clay blushes, which I love. I love their blushes so, so much. This one is in the shade Courage right here. I'm not sure. This reminds me a lot of Tarte Exposed. So I'm not sure if it's like the same color, but they just put like a different name in it. I'm not exactly sure like what they did for this palette, but this shade reminds me a lot of Tarte Exposed, which is its own Amazonian clay blush, in case you're interested. It's just that really nice light mauve for everyday wear. But this palette is awesome because we pretty much have everything that we're going to need for a look. Hey, Emily, how are you? You keep catching me, girl. So in this palette, oh, I just wanted to say for those of you who have like just come on, if you have like, I love doing Q&A type stuff. So if you just want to interrupt me and ask me random questions, please do, because Emily knows I love that kind of stuff. So just let me know if you have any questions. I don't care what it's about, just ask. But anyways, back to the palette. We have this really awesome vanilla shade. And I say this, I just said it earlier, but I love it whenever we have a nice vanilla shade in a palette, because that to me is going to make my life a lot easier. Sorry, I have like a gnat or something. I had the back door open for a little bit. Probably flew in. So anyways, it just makes my life easier if I'm traveling or anything like that, because I don't have to reach into another palette or pull out another shade from a Z palette or anything like that. I just have this in my palette. So this is what I love to put on that inner corner or the brow bone. But anyways, we have this really beautiful, like kind of medium toned chocolate brown that's matte. And then we have 3 shimmer shades. So I'll be completely honest, I don't even think that I've really touched this more than once. I remember throwing it in my outer corner for one look a really, really long time ago. But this eyeshadow right here, I love. It reminds me so much of Serena van der Woodsen when she has, if you guys have ever watched Gossip Girl, when she has those really wet looking lids. I love that look so much. But this eyeshadow right here will definitely give you that and help you accomplish it. And then this one in the shade Lucky Penny is so beautiful. It's like a bronzy color that has a little bit of a pink undertone. It's a really, really beautiful shade. But this is one of the other eyeshadow palettes that from Tarte specifically that really impressed me, because like I was saying earlier, pretty much all of them besides the ones that I've mentioned so far are just not the best. So I feel like I remember maybe that was Too Faced, the Peaches palette or something. But I feel like Tarte came out with a palette that had like reds and cranberries. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I feel like it was like a Heat palette or something, kind of one of their Tartelette palettes that has the 9 or 12 eyeshadows, and it was like Heat or something. Maybe I'm thinking of Too Faced. I don't know. But anyways, I just have not been super impressed with their eyeshadows, which is really disappointing because so many Yeah, the toasted palette. Yes. Oh my gosh, we're so on point. Or you're so on point. I'm not. I'm like over here. I don't even know what's going on. But yeah, the toasted palette. I could not remember what it was called. But yeah, so they have just missed the mark on so many eyeshadow palettes. And I was watching my friend Samantha March's channel, and she was talking about St. Patrick's Day, and Tarte came out with an eyeshadow palette, but it was a hoax. So it was like beautiful greens. The entire eyeshadow palette had just an entire range of greens. And then they just randomly decided that it would be a joke, and they didn't release it, even though everyone was saying like, yes, that's the palette that we've been missing in our collections and that we've been looking for as consumers. And they just thought it would be funny to throw something out there. I thought that was so rude, like so rude whenever I heard about that. It honestly pissed me off. And I was telling Samantha, I was like, this makes me, as like an OG supporter of Tarte, I have always loved Tarte so much. Yeah, it was their April Fool's joke. It was so stupid. But yeah, that honestly, I was telling her like, that makes me not want to purchase from them, because they have just been total, insert dirty word here, jerks. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That was so frustrating. And I know a ton of people were really upset about that. And if you keep messing up as a company, you're going to end up losing people who have been your supporter for a really, really long time. And I just don't think that companies realize that. It's super frustrating. But okay. So we have, you think that they will come out with it? Yeah, I've thought about that too, because I was like, you have to be pretty ignorant for the number of followers that they have that were really, really wanting that eyeshadow palette and to not come out with it. Like, that just doesn't even make sense, especially from a company standpoint of wanting to make money. So yeah, I have no idea how long it goes, but clearly they had like a mock-up, because it looked like a beautiful palette already. I don't even know if it was photoshopped or if it was a concept that they had developed and they just haven't perfected yet from their point of view. I'm not sure exactly what was going on. So you're saying that, I'm not exactly sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. TT? I don't want to mess it up, so I apologize if I did. But you heard that they're teasing a colorful palette. Honestly, if they keep doing this kind of thing to where they're teasing and then they don't come out with stuff, that's not going to be good for them. Like I was just saying, it's just not going to be a good situation. I feel like at this point, with what happened on St. Patrick's Day, and now we're closing May, like I feel like that's enough time for a huge company like Tarte to come out with something that they were teasing back in March. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm totally ignorant about the process, but I feel like they had a concept already developed. So I don't know. It's just really frustrating as someone who loved the brand for a really, really long time, and now feel like they just keep turning around and messing up every single time something comes up. It's just really frustrating. But next up, we have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. Oh my God. This thing is so old. Like, what is it? 3-4 years now? Something crazy like that, right? I feel like it was so long ago. But even though probably shouldn't, it's a Finnish pet name. Okay. Yeah, this is so OG, right? So first off, I just have to say that I have always loved Jaclyn Hill. And despite my complex with her, like only pretty much using super crazy expensive products now, I still love her as an artist. And I think based on what I know and what I see as a subscriber, I love her as a person. But anyways, this eyeshadow palette, like when I opened it, I got that kind of mineral smell. So that probably means that I shouldn't be putting this on my eyes anymore, but maybe I could just spray it down with some alcohol and wipe off the top part and I'll be okay. I don't know. But when this palette first came out, I was one of those fans who went on the website and purchased it immediately. Immediately. And I was so thankful because if y'all remember way back in the day, she like broke Morphe's website pretty much. So I love this palette a lot. What I love about it is that even now, Morphe has really sustained affordable products, which I really appreciate. I talk about that a lot, but we have some awesome shades in here, and it really does range from warm to cool tone. This color right here, this beautiful kind of shimmery vanilla shade, is gorgeous on the brow bone as well as the inner corner of the eye. And then I remember using this hunter green a long time ago for like a Thanksgiving look or something. I even think it was, oh my gosh, I think it might have been a, what's it called? What is that word called? It's like when you do a video with another YouTuber. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. This is why live always gets me like nervous because this is going to happen to me. Collab, when you collaborate with another YouTuber, whatever. So I feel like I did that with Beauty Addict Next Door. She's another one of my friends here. Her name's Alex, and yes, a collab. Thank you, Emily. But I used the shade and so many people loved it. It's really, really beautiful. But yeah, this was honestly one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes that I've ever purchased. Several of these have some pretty big dents in them. And then this one right here had like a bad moment. Yeah, you love Alex too. Oh my God. I love how it's such a small community, especially like, I don't know, with my peeps. I feel like everyone knows everyone. It's so much fun. It's awesome. And she just came back. So I know that she was absent for a while because of some stuff going on, but she's like back in the game, uploading videos, posting stuff. So I'm really glad that she is back. But yeah, so I had such an attitude about her like actual palette that she released with Morphe. And I talked about this in one of my anti-hauls. And honestly, like, I feel like such a meanie for being so jerky about it. But at the same time, I think I was just so bitter about the fact that every single makeup tutorial that she was putting up, she was only using like crazy expensive products or like only high end. And it just seemed like a chore for her to put up something that was more affordable for her viewers. So I think I was just kind of going through like a little period of you know what I mean? Sometimes I just get like that, where I don't want to give my money to someone that I feel like isn't hearing what people are saying. Because I remember seeing a ton of people like, why aren't you doing drugstore, you know, makeup tutorials and stuff? Like, you're wearing a $200 primer. No one else can afford that. So I was just upset. But every single time I go into Ulta, I look at her palette and I'm like, oh, why did I actually put that in an anti-haul? Because even though I have a lot of very similar eyeshadows, it's still really nice to have all of them plus some pops of colors in one eyeshadow palette. So kind of kicking myself a little bit with that. So one thing, while I have a couple of y'all here, I just wanted to talk about something that I've been curious about. So I know that I've mentioned a couple of different brands throughout. You still haven't picked it up either. Yeah, I don't know why I have such a complex about it. I guess for me, I'm so terrified of being called like a liar or like a fake or something like that, because I know people, whenever you post an anti-haul video or you talk about a product and you say you're not going to purchase it, and then you end up swatching it and you fall in love with it, or you see it in person, whatever, people will come after you if you decide to go back on your word. And honestly, for some reason, I have just felt like it's not worth the hate that I feel like I would get for saying I'm not going to pick it up. So that's why I haven't. even though seeing it and swatching it in person, yeah, like I feel like I'm allowed to change my mind. And sometimes I'll go in there with my mom and she's like, Brianna, stop making this such a big issue. Just buy the palette. Like if people are hating on you, then just block them. And I get, and I totally get that. And I am allowed to change my mind. That's like the beauty of freedom, right? But at the same time, it's like just nerve-wracking. I'm just nervous about it. So I don't know, maybe that's stupid, but that kind of goes in with what I wanted to talk to y'all about. Just in general, talking about makeup brands that you initially say that you would not purchase or endorse. And then you kind of decide that maybe you're a little curious about it. So for me specifically, this has kind of happened. Well, it's really happened with one brand and then it's kind of happened with another. So, yeah, I've seen that happen too, Emily. So they'll put a product in their favorites and then they'll later put it in disappointing products. So I could see how that could happen in the sense that like other similar products come out and then that one product doesn't seem as good as it once was. Or sometimes your skin just doesn't have the same reaction to a product as whenever you first use it. I've had that happen before. Like with the NYX Angel Veil Primer, I remember loving that initially, and then it just started to break me out a lot. Like I would say, this is the drugstore primer I use, and it doesn't break me out. And then it started to break me out because my skin was just going through something. So I had to say like, this is happening. And I feel like that's okay. Just like you're saying, Emily. So one of the brands that I'm just having like this weird time with is Kylie Cosmetics. I can't believe I just said that because I've said this multiple times and like everyone who knows me really, really well in my like personal life, I guess, knows that I just don't have a huge disposition to follow the Kardashians. I'm not like a huge reality TV person whenever it comes to just random stupid stuff. Like I love The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but that's about love. So it's totally different, right? But yeah, so I just haven't had like this huge desire to jump on the Kardashian bandwagon because I don't know, I just have different morals, I feel like, than they present that they have on TV. So I've just had this huge hang up with Kylie Cosmetics, and yeah, Emily, you too. So I feel like so many of her products are loved and raved about. And as a beauty lover and a makeup lover, like I want those products too, especially because she's a cruelty-free brand and there's only so many cruelty-free brands out there. And I love the fact that she decided to like put her brand into cruelty-free and made that decision, which I think is just awesome because especially after NARS sold out like freaking boneheads, it was really nice to see her come out with cruelty-free products. So yeah, so you think it's super overpriced, made in the same labs as ColourPop, and the Kardashians don't need your extra money. Yeah, I totally get that. And that's like where the hang up is because sometimes I'll see like their highlighters and stuff, but then a ColourPop will come out with their highlighters and it even looks really similar in the pan. I know that Kylie's highlighters have like that imprint on it with like the paint drop or whatever, but just looking at them side by side, they do look super similar texture wise. So like I understand that, but then I hear about like the lip glosses and all that, and I don't know, I just guess as a cruelty-free beauty vlogger, it's something that is in the back of my mind. And then the really big one, and I need y'all's help on this because this is something I've thought a lot about. It's Lime Crime. So I know back in the day, like 4 years ago, they had, I think it was around 4 years ago, they had that huge scandal with the credit card issues. And I guess the owner or co-owner of the company didn't reinstate the protection policy. So people who were consuming the products, their credit card information was not protected, which is obviously a huge deal. Like my grandmother was a victim of identity theft, and it can literally ruin your life for years because all of the IRS, the tax bill, like everyone thinks that your credit is destroyed and bad. So I get it. Like I understand, but I also have like this big like feeling of forgiveness at this point in my life. Like that's something that I'm trying to actively practice. And that's why Tarte has also been a sensitive subject for me lately. And as far as like trusting companies that I love. So I feel like it's worth giving a second chance. But at the same time, like I want to make sure that I'm maintaining my morals. So I don't know. It's just so complicated, you know? So yeah, you won't. So Emily said, I still won't support Lime Crime personally, but I won't not watch you. So I appreciate that, Emily, because I know that there's people out there that would be like, nope, you're done. Like I'm never watching your channel again. So I guess that's my concern is I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not a big deal. It's not a huge decision or anything like that. I mean, it's not life-changing, but it is something that crosses my mind. So okay, so Emily said, and I'm just saying what you say, Emily, so when other people come back and watch this video, they're not like, what are you talking about? So Emily said, for me, it's not only the security breach, but also you heard the owner wasn't a very good person. Yeah, like that for me is a no-go. Whenever someone is just nasty and rude and disgusting and hurtful, like my heart can't take that. So I just don't like hearing those sorts of things and knowing that they have control and influence over an industry. So hearing that, and like, obviously I trust her research and judgment. So I guess that's my answer. But yeah, it's just something that crosses my mind, you know, because like whenever brands come out and they do stuff, because these are humans, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not machines running a brand, it's humans. So when they come out and they make errors, for me, it's like, okay, now I need to figure out if I forgive the error, are they going to make the same errors over and over again, like Tarte is stupidly doing right now? Or, you know, are people going to be really upset with me if I continue to support? Because it is like, when you purchase something, you are supporting that person and that brand. You are feeding their bank account, and that's a huge deal, especially when there's so many amazing brands out there like ColourPop, Carity, you know, Booksome, like brands that really are awesome. So it's just something that has been on my mind and I think about whenever I do my beauty stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. But another note, I'm just rambling because honestly, I hate being alone when my husband works overnight. So I'm just hanging out with my girlfriends tonight. But another thing, I don't know if you guys follow Jaclyn Hill a lot, but I do. And she just posted her video briefly, like just touching on her divorce. And she didn't go into detail, which I'm very thankful that she didn't, because honestly, it's no one's business knowing like the intimate details of a person's relationship. Like even people who are really close to you that aren't, you know, on the internet and things like that, like people who are your very close friends in person, it's still not their business. So I was proud that she decided to keep things more to herself about the details, because I feel like when you're in a marriage, it's not your place to air two people's dirty laundry. You know what I mean? Because it's not just you, it's someone else as well. And so first off, I was just really thankful she did that. But also, like, I grew up in my early 20s for the past 5-6 years, however long she's been on, like watching her, and we're the same age. So I felt like really connected to her. And I like, remember watching her from the very, very beginning when she was still working at Mac. Yeah, I agree, Emily. So, like, I remember watching her with John and, like, all the funny videos that they did and all of that kind of stuff, and it just breaks my heart that they were both struggling for a long time based on what she said in the video. They were just really struggling, and that breaks my heart that she felt like she had to be the happy ending for her subscribers, because that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, and to put on a marriage and another person. Like, that's a lot. So my heart just goes out to her and John. I have no idea, obviously, the details, but it's not necessary to know them. So I just hope that that they both really come out of this and they're able to better themselves, and also find people who they grow up with and not grow back with. So yeah, that just kind of like, I watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard to watch because I mean, she's cried on camera before, but you could just tell that her heart was like in pieces. I mean, 9 years together with someone you married when you were 19, like, you grew up in the sense of, like, you know, your early 20s and mid 20s and late 20s, you grew with that person. So that's just really tough. And she had mentioned someone talking on Twitter about saying, like, I need to know the details of what happened because I need to know whose side to be on. And when she said that, I was like, all right, who is this troll? Because they need like a put down real quick. I just don't understand people like that. I don't understand the hate and the nastiness that happens on social media. Like, I just don't get the hate. It bothers me so much. Like, how painful and how much are you hurting in your own life that you have to be disgusting to another person that you don't even know on the internet? Like, if you're going to hate someone and be nasty, at least have some lady balls and, like she said, and frickin' confront the person in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have an issue with someone, geez, like, I don't get it. So yeah, so Emily said you're kind of disappointed looking back about the sexy photo shoot. Yeah, flaunting this idea of a perfect spicy marriage. Yeah. I almost wonder, so this is kind of exposure time, I guess, but I was married when I was 19, not to my current husband. We got married in 2016, but I married when I was 19 years old, and we had a very like passionate, crazy relationship, but at the same time, like, we were not right for each other. But because we were so young and vulnerable and we weren't growing up together, we were just like combating each other. We didn't know how to be like the best versions of ourselves. We put on a huge front to other people too. So I almost wonder if that was like the photo shoot was their last ditch effort to kind of like put something forth within themselves, because honestly, someone who's been in a really difficult marriage and multiple very hard relationships, you want to put on a front because you want to not fail. Like, failing a marriage and failing a relationship sucks. Like, it sucks so much. And especially whenever you are on display for a good portion of the world, like she has over 5 million subscribers. That's tough. So I wonder if it was like a last stitch effort to try to make themselves work with each other and kind of like spice up themselves. And obviously it was like a front, like she said. So that's so painful. But yeah, the whole choosing side thing, whenever she said that, I was like, oh my God, that is so nasty. Like, people, man, I don't know. I was talking to my dad about this the other day, about how social media has just rocked our world. sometimes for the better, like a lot of the times for the better, but because you get to connect with people that you would never know otherwise. But also it gives a forum to kind of let evil out in a very easy way, because it's so simple to just sit here, type on your keyboard, hit send or hit enter, and you're done, right? And that, to me, I feel like the fact that it's so easy to do that is why there's so much hate and so much cyberbullying. Whereas walking up to someone and being like, hey, your contour looks like SHIT today. And I'm spelling it out because I don't know if y'all have kiddos in the room. But yeah, like it's so much harder to walk up to someone and to say that, right? But typing it out on a keyboard is very simple, very easy. We've probably all done it. And honestly, it's just like, it's tough sometimes. And I know a lot of my friends who I know more well than others, and I know Samantha March has talked about this multiple times on her Twitter, because she's so funny. I adore her, but she'll get on and she'll say something about like a troll commenting on her eyebrows or her foundation or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't understand why someone would take the time out of their day and take the energy out of themselves to be nasty like that. It's just something that, I don't know, bothers me. And like I said, like women specifically are vicious for a lot of the part. Like I remember in high school, I never really had problems with guys. Like I know that there is a big movement going on talking about like guys with harassment and being nasty towards women and everything. But in my experience, oh my gosh, I'm getting so off track and like into some deep stuff right now, but that's okay. You guys can just like not watch me anymore if you are done. But anyways, so I just remember being in high school and I never had a problem with guys. Like guys were simple and easy to understand. Like they didn't really get into cat fights and stuff like that. Like they would just do their thing. If they had a problem, they'd punch each other and be done with it. You know, there was not this planning and manipulation and backstabbing and I'm your friend this day, I'm not your friend the next day. And I think that's why I always struggled with girlfriends, because I think so much more like a dude. And if someone backstabs me and is not nice, I just cut them out of my life. I'm like, okay, that was really, really bad for you to do. And you did it to me several times. So I'm not going to give you any more energy. Like I can't do this back and forth. And it still happens like as grown women, it still happens like in my program, at work, like just different places. I'm like, how can you have the time and energy to be best friends, go out with someone, and then nay about that person over here, and then turn around and be best friends with them the next day? Like, that's confusing to me. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. So Emily, you said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I really like that. I like that a lot. So I don't know. I just feel like I don't understand some women. I know that it's not all, because I do have really, really amazing women in my life, and literally all the women in my family are like dudes in the brain, because none of us are good at that back and forth backstabbing. Now we're best friends thing. Like me and my sister will talk about it all the time because we just can't do it. It's too much. So yeah, but another note, just because we're here and we're hanging out, I started working on my novel again today, and I was really excited because I kind of hit like this lull where I am working on my dissertation and work stuff, and I just don't have time for anything fun. But I worked on my novel again today because I ended up having the day off. And I had a blast. Like sometimes I'll just get into the groove of it and it'll just flow. And the story is really, really taking shape now. I'm kind of obsessed with it. Last night I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, even though I have a super long eval today, which ended up getting canceled, I need to write tomorrow night. And I ended up doing it. And it was so much fun. And now I join like all of these blogging and writer, like indie author websites and Facebook groups to figure out how to do the whole self-publishing thing, because I don't know what I'm doing. And we're just going to figure it out as we go. But I'm so excited about that, y'all. And I know that I've been talking a lot more about it lately, probably because I'm seriously starting to get the hang of actually writing. Whenever I first started, I was like, what am I doing? I have no idea what's happening. And now that I've done more research and I figured out kind of my pattern of how I need to write. Thank you, Emily. But yeah, now that I figured out more about it, I just feel like the writing process is a lot easier. So that's super exciting. Super duper exciting. But I don't know what else to do right now. Like all my animals are just passed out, chilling out. If you guys have any like questions or anything like that, we could get personal, we could get makeup-y or booky. I don't really care. Oh, okay, yes. So, side note, because I'm a book blogger, she sent me her new book. It's called Talking About Samantha March. So Samantha just published her 6th novel. It's called The Six Christie. It's a girlfriend series, and it's going to be 6 books. But her first book actually just released today on Amazon, and I'll actually have the link down below, but my review for that is going live tomorrow. It was awesome. It's so much fun. It's definitely like an awesome like chick lit, which is like the name of her blog, Chick Lit Plus, and it's very like very much a beach read, a friendship read. It's going to be something that makes you laugh out loud, but it also has topics in there, and just stay in chat. I'm just going to put the baby to bed. I love it. All right. We're just hanging out. I feel like I should go grab a glass of wine or something. Then it'll get like real fun. So, but anyways, yeah, her book is like awesome. It was so much fun to read. And even though it's really lighthearted and it talks about like the premise of it is very fun and obviously oriented around girlfriends, it's also got components to it that are heartfelt and just make you tear up and cry. I think that Samantha did an amazing job, and I'll actually list my blog once it goes live tomorrow. I'll list my link to the review down below, so anyone who's interested can read that, so you can get like the description and kind of my more in-depth thoughts. But it was a really, really great book, and I pretty much read it in one sitting because it was so good. And I need to like tell Samantha, listen, girl, you made me late on one of my assignments because I was sitting there reading your book and totally lost track of time. But yeah, it's a very fun novel. So I'll have that listed down below in case anyone's interested. But yeah, I don't know. So, oh my God, I have another thing. This video is going to be so long. You guys, like, this is so ridiculous. But I was thinking about kind of like my big dreams the other day, and I realized that one of the things that I really, really want to do is create a makeup brand one day. And that's whether or not I get like huge on my channel. That's not for me what it's about. It's more about like I actually want to create a makeup brand despite YouTube. It's just something I've thought about for a really, really long time. And today I kind of came up with a cool philanthropic idea. And I just kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on this. So if you don't know, I am a therapist for children who have been sexually abused. And obviously with that comes a lot of heart-wrenching things. So today I was just thinking about like the makeup brand and kind of my philosophy behind it. My dad is a very, what's it called? Ethical beekeeper. So he makes sure to really take care of the bees and make sure that they're thriving and doing everything that is like healthiest and best for them. Because if you guys don't know, we have like a huge bee problem like in the United States right now. And I think even across the world, like they're dying out, which is really, really bad for our ecosystem. So basically I was thinking of like using honey and beeswax, really similar to like Bite Beauty or Burt's Bees, something like that, to where it has that really nice, like, what am I trying to say? Organic sort of foundation, like with plant-based and stuff like that. So I want it to be, obviously it's going to be cruelty-free, and I want it to be natural. And then today I just started thinking about my clients and women and men who have been, yes, save the bees. But men and women who have either had a history of child sexual abuse or who experienced it as an adult. And I would love to either have some of the proceeds, like probably a big portion, go towards like my own charity that I create. I have this weird thing, you guys. I'm so paranoid about charities not being what they say they are. Which is why I only donate to like very specific charities that I know very well and have done in-depth research on. So I would love to create my own charity for not only men and women who have experienced sexual abuse, but also for animals that have been abused or who are like in the adoption process. So that's kind of like my big dream. And I don't know if for the men and women I would want just the proceeds to go to. I kind of want to create like this program to where, you know, for like women's shelters or abuse shelters, who like the people within them who need to like get jobs and things like that, if we could actually donate like products from my makeup line to people who are going on job interviews. You know what I mean? Like something like that would be so cool. And it reminds me a lot of, I think, Bethany Frankel from like one of the only other reality TV shows. She's on Real Housewives of New York, but she, I believe 2 years ago, participated in like dressing for women or something along those lines. But it is a philanthropic society that, oh, you guys want to see my baby? Come here, baby. Oh, oh. Hi, this is Sammy, for those of you who don't know. And he just came in here probably because he's like, why have you left me for so long? Oh my God, yes, give me those kisses. Oh, oh my God. Okay, now that I have my cuddle bug. But she, like the charity basically donates clothes to women who were homeless or abused or whatever and are now going on to job interviews. So I would love to have something along those lines with a makeup company. I just think that would be so cool. And that's like the big dream. And that honestly has nothing to do with like YouTube or work or anything like that. Like I just want to be able to create something like that. So that has been on my mind for a while. So what do you think, bud? You think that's a good idea? It's like, Mom, I don't speak English. Yeah, isn't he so cute? Oh my God. So if you guys don't know, he's a Shih Tzu. He's a very small Shih Tzu. They normally range from around like 10 to 15 pounds. And he is 7 pounds, a whole 7 pounds. And he's super sleepy right now. So he's just letting me do like whatever I want to him. But I have him, and I also have a black lab and chow mix. I always forget what the chow is, but he has like a spotted tongue. It's so cute. He is a mama's boy. Like he weighs 70 pounds. I'm not even kidding you. He's huge. And he like lays on me when we're on the couch together. And then I also have Duchess. Oh, his name is Chalupa Batman. And then we also have Duchess, who is a white shepherd, a black mouth cur mix, and she's my princess. She's the only other girl. For those of you who don't know, I had my dog Sydney, who I had for 8 years. I actually got her during my first marriage. It was a gift from my ex-husband, and she, oh my gosh, she went through everything with me. She went through our divorce, moving like to a whole nother state, and just a bunch of different things. She passed away last year, 2017 in March. And it was like literally, that was whenever I knew that death was real. You know what I'm saying? Because like I lost my grandfather, 2 of my grandfathers actually, like throughout my childhood and early adulthood, but nothing ever touched what I went through whenever I lost Sydney, who was like my child, literally. So when I was going through my depression period, now we're getting real deep. I was very depressed. Like I had so much guilt over everything that happened. I don't think I talked about it in my video about losing her, but she had a seizure disorder that, we didn't know the etiology of it. We had no idea what caused it. One day she just had a seizure that almost killed her. And then we got her on phenobarbital and some other seizure medications. She ended up doing okay for like a year. And then she ended up declining rapidly last year in March. I remember like the week that it happened, she just started having seizures more often, which for those of you who don't know, it can really damage your brain. So she would also be in a lot of pain. But basically, like everyone kept telling me like her quality of life is bad. And I was like, listen, back off. I will know when it's time. And I just kept like, honestly, kept like praying and like praying to something, because at that point I had no idea. Like I just had, all right, this is getting real deep now, real deep, but I didn't have like a strong faith. So I was just at my wit's end. I was like, I need some help. I need some guidance. Please tell me when it's time. So she was the love of my life, and she would never hurt a fly. So there was one day I remember very clearly, I was sitting in her office and she was on her little dog bed. I reached down to pet her, and she turned and she bit the living snot out of me. And that was the moment I knew that she had been too far gone. I'm not crying. I'm like choking right now, because honestly, I cried so much for like over a year. Well, not over a year, but like probably 7 to 8 months, that I am just so dry from it now. But yeah, anyways, moving back on to more of a happier thing. My husband, like I could not get out of my depression. I just could not shake it. And one day he was like, all right, we're getting up, we're going, we're getting you a puppy. Because obviously, like, I have a huge heart for dogs and animals in general, but definitely dogs. So he was like, we're doing it right now. And I had always wanted a Shih Tzu. Like before Sydney had problems, before she passed away, I'd always told him, I was like, I want a dog that's going to stay little forever. So I stopped getting puppyitis, because that kept happening, which is why I ended up with 3 big dogs. So he ended up taking me out, and I was like, I don't want a dog. I was so upset at him for it. I was like, it's not time yet. She can never be replaced. And we ended up going to this place that before she passed and before things got bad, we always looked at the Shih Tzus because they were just so freaking cute. So we go there, and Sammy, they had multiple breeds of dogs, and Sammy was the only Shih Tzu left. He was just there. He was literally like the size of his head at this point. He weighed whopping 1.78 pounds. He was tiny. And the guy, like, I didn't even want to touch him. I was still so heartbroken. And so the guy like handed him to my husband, and then we get into this little pen area to play. And I remember him getting on the floor and just like attacking my feet, my little toes. Oh my God, do you die? Isn't he just the cutest? And that was the first time since Sydney had passed away that I genuinely laughed. And that's when I knew. I was like, okay, it's time. Like, this is, again, my sign that it's time to not move on or not replace or not anything like that, but to open up my heart a little bit to let this guy in. And he has made our home so happy, so fulfilled. He loves his cat brother, who's like asleep on my other chair right there, and his brother and sister, his doggy brother and sister. He's so cute. So he loves them. And he honestly, like, Duchess is 50, almost 60 pounds, and Chalupa's 70. He runs the house, Mr. Sammy right here. So one thing that I love is that both Duchess and Chalupa were rescues. Chalupa was in a very serious situation when we first adopted him. He was born into a feral pack. And basically what that means is, like, we were living in Georgia. Hi, Pamela. So we were living in Georgia. So for those of you who don't know, it is the state right above Florida. And it's very southern, very rural. And so they have like a ton of dogs that just run amok. They don't have, thank you. That's very sweet. Isn't he? He's like so cute, right? He's a very cute puppy. But anyway, so he was born to a feral mom, and he was captured by this rescue, who's run by, excuse me, a ton of really amazing women. And they bring in feral dogs because if evil people, I like to call them, capture the dogs, they'll basically just kill them, or sometimes they'll end up in like a high kill shelter. So they created this giant sanctuary, and they will actually foster the puppies, and then the parent dogs will get to run on the sanctuary. It's really beautiful what they do. So we got Chalupa Batman, who was captured, and he was like put in this pen when he was captured. So he was traumatized, basically. Even though they rescued him, he was traumatized. So plus we have Duchess, who was also like, I think she was found in a dumpster or something like that. It was just bad. So we adopted both of them. And Sammy, obviously, like, we got him from a breeder, which I am not a breeder kind of gal. I much prefer to adopt, but it was just a situation, like, we couldn't find a Shih Tzu rescue near us, and that's what my husband really wanted to get me. So anyways, but because he led such an easy life and he wasn't ever traumatized or anything like that, he has brought out the best in our other two dogs, who were terrified and scared for the longest time. Like, we obviously give them a very loving home, but we're humans and he's a dog. So they just have like a different connection. And he has just made them so much more playful and amazing. But I'm like rambling so much and you guys are commenting. I know, Emily, I saw yours a second ago, but I couldn't read it because I was just in my own head. So be a therapist at the same time, write your book and YouTube. Girl, okay, here's my thing. So basically, I have been in school since I was 5 years old. And more recently, over the past year, I have realized that in order to be sane and be okay, I need to pursue other passions in life. Like I love my therapy job, and everything like that. So I just need to like make sure that I am like, what am I trying to say? I need to make sure that I'm not just one thing. And this is something that I tell my husband about a lot, is that like I need to make sure that I'm not just a therapist, I'm not just a psychologist, that I am pursuing my other dreams, whether or not I realize them, you know, now or 10 years from now, but I need to participate in multiple things. Otherwise, I am going to resent what I do. So, and I know that at this point, a while ago, I was thinking like, maybe I should just quit school. Maybe I should write my book full time. Maybe I should do my beauty vlogger stuff full time. And then I was like, no, like I love my kiddos. I love the job that I do. I just need to make sure that I do my other stuff too. So that kind of means that I sacrifice some stuff here and there. So I don't have like the craziest at posting every single day YouTube schedule. You know, whenever I can, I do it. And I try to stay really consistent, especially the past 5 to 6 months. I've tried really, really hard to put videos up at least once a week. And I don't always do that. So that kind of disappoints me. But then I also, you know, don't write my book every single day. So I just kind of like do it when I can, but then I throw my whole self into it whenever I do it, if that makes sense. All right. So you also said, so you were like that with your horse, Duncan. He was your best friend, such a hole whenever you passed, and you rescued him when you were 14. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry. Like, sorry. And I know that's such like a silly thing to say, but there's no other way to like convey feeling empathy. You know what I mean? But I get it. And there's no, there's nothing that anyone can say to make it better. And it sucks. And I think it sucks so bad whenever it's an animal, because they just give you so much unconditional love. Like I've never known a person like, and I have amazing people in my life, like amazing husband, amazing parents in my life, family, like everything. And still like animals just love you no matter what you do. You come home every single day for an entire year, just exhausted and angry at the world. They're still going to love you. And that to me is a quality that I don't think humans could ever achieve, just because we're like up here, we're more complex and things bother us. Hold on, my phone's ringing. I just want to make sure that my husband's okay because it's really late at night. I'll be right back. Good. I'm on live right now. You're not on speakerphone though. You gotta be nice though, because we have kiddos.
Oh, hi everybody. That's all.
I've been live for like 2 years, no, like 2 hours.
Oh, well.
Okay, will you be home when you're supposed to? Or earlier? Okay. All right, well, I love you. Text me. Bye. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. He works at an inpatient psychiatric hospital, so sometimes whenever I get calls from him, I just want to make sure that he's okay, because they've had patients come in who are like very combative and have actually really hurt people. So I just want to make sure that he's okay. So, Pamela, thank you so much. You're very, very sweet for your comment. So Emily, you said you feel the same about the kids. YouTube is your hobby. You don't feel stuck at home with the kids. Yeah. So it's like, it's okay. And I feel like I've learned this is that it's okay to be more than one thing. And I think that's awesome that you are a mom and you have your kiddos and you also do YouTube. Like that is so amazing to me. I love it so much. And Pamela, you said, what's your favorite lipstick color? Ooh, that is a tough question. So my favorite lipstick color, in lipstick, liquid lipstick, or lip gloss? That's my question to you. And then I'll be able to tell you because I feel like that's a tough question. For lipstick, this one right here is probably my favorite shade of all time. It's by Flower Beauty, which is Drew Barrymore's makeup line. And it's in the shade Tea Rose. So I'll swatch it for you so you can see exactly what it looks like. But it is the most perfect, like mauve-y, pinky, peachy nude. So this is what it looks like. It's really, really pretty. And I love it because I kind of have like a reddish yellow undertone to my skin, which you can't really see in fluorescent lighting, but I promise I do. Because the fluorescent lighting really just washes me out and I look like blah. Yeah, so, okay. Yes, I feel like I do own a lot of makeup, way more than I did before. And, oh, that's so sweet, Pamela. Thank you so much. For me, what I really love, and I hate whenever I see this, where people are saying like, oh, I got to cover up the ugly. This is actually something that I've seen Jaclyn Hill and a couple of other people that I watch regularly say about themselves. I don't use makeup to cover myself up. I use makeup as a creative outlet. For me, it really is an art form. And I think people who really enjoy makeup and do colorful eye looks or smoky eye looks or whatever, I feel like they're artists. You know what I mean? They are just using their creativity and doing something amazing with it. So that's my perspective. It's not for me about like making myself look better per se. It's just about creating like an awesome outlet. So that's what I love. But yeah, so you use makeup as art as well. I think that's awesome. So you also said that you're getting purple makeup brushes and other makeup in June and July. So purple, huh? Because I love purple. It's my favorite color in the whole world. That's awesome. And that's very exciting that you're getting other makeup in June and July. That's really, really cool. So congratulations, because I know I love whenever I get new makeup. It just makes me feel like excited. You know what I mean? Because you get, for me specifically, I love eyeshadow palettes because that is where I tend to kind of bring out my most creative side is whenever I'm doing my eyes, which I've been trying to do a lot more creative looks lately on my channel. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's why I love makeup. And Emily, yeah, you're the same. It's fun for you, not necessary. I agree. It's just like a hobby. You know what I mean? It's just something that you like people who love to scrapbook. I know my mother-in-law loves to do arts and crafts and paint and things like that. And for me, it's kind of the same thing. It's just your canvas is your face. So, all right. So Pamela, you also said for beginners, how do you do your eyebrows and the winged eyeliner? You can't do them. Okay. So for anyone who has been on my channel for a while, I will say that winged liner is kind of my worst enemy. I don't really do winged liner a lot anymore because I'm bad at it. to be completely honest, and it frustrates me and it takes me forever to do it well. So what I did for my eyebrows, and some people probably know this pretty well, but I started out with just an eyebrow gel. So they have one from Ulta. I know for those of you who aren't cruelty-free, Benefit has a really awesome brow gel. I have one currently that's from Elizabeth Mott, and she's a cruelty-free brand. So I just started out with a brow gel, and I just learned kind of how to like fill in my brows using that and what kind of shape I like. So if I liked kind of more of the darker to be on the tail end, or I would fill in the inner part. Then more recently, I pretty much graduated, I guess you could say, to the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which, if I can say anything about eyebrow pencils, to be completely honest, that is the easiest brow pencil I have ever used. I've tried 3 to 4 others, and that one is just so creamy and opaque that it makes it really easy. So I would just say take it slow. Don't try to do like, I know a lot of people who are really good at doing brows, they can do like the perfect line and stuff like that. I would advise just doing little tiny flicks and not doing any lines until you get a little bit more experience with the eyebrow pencil and like how hard to push down or how easy to push down, things like that. So yeah. And as far as winged liner goes, one thing that I have been using more recently, I've been trying to get more into it again, is I will put Scotch tape on my eyes like this, and that will give me like that sharp line right there. And then that's how I will like create the wing, and then I will just kind of like fill it in from there. So if that makes sense, it kind of helps with that edge. All right. So if you want cheap makeup, try the app called Geek or Wish. Interesting. I've never heard of either one of those apps. I actually came across, hi, I have Chalupa here with me. I don't know if he'll, buddy, you want to come say hi? Come here. I'm not going to be able to pick him up because he's freaking huge, but he's right here. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. So this is a app called Hush. And they have a lot of makeup brands on here, like Bad Habit and things like that. And a lot of the makeup brands are like dupes for other really famous and more expensive makeup products. So like this one right here, I think is supposed to be similar to Huda Beauty, I think, something like that. And then this one is supposed to be kind of similar to Anastasia, their glow kit, stuff like that. So I haven't actually bought anything from here, but what's her name? Stephanie from Babs Beauty purchased like a ton of makeup from Hush, and she loves it. Like I saw her doing like eye makeup with it and everything. So a lot of the palettes she actually purchased, and they're beautiful. So like, what am I trying to say? Like these palettes right here that dupe Huda Beauty are only $10. So that's pretty good if you ask me. All right. So what else are we talking about? You're welcome for the tips. Your boyfriend got you an eyeshadow palette with 120 colors for $4. What eyeshadow palette is that? Because that sounds amazing. I know BH Cosmetics has a lot of those like really big palettes that have the very small pans of eyeshadows that are like a ton of different colors. I actually have one of those, and the pigmentation is pretty nice. I feel like I would only use it for like festival looks, concert looks, or Halloween, just because I have other palettes that are a lot more pigmented, but it's still really nice. Oh, okay, so the eyeshadow palette is on the app called Geek. I'll definitely have to check that out whenever I get off and download it, because I'm all about inexpensive makeup. So Emily, you used up your Brow Wiz yesterday. So I feel like That is the only downfall to the Brow Wiz, is that it is so buttery and creamy that I feel like I almost use more than I should, if that makes sense, because it's just, I don't know. It's so creamy that it goes down really, really fast. But that's a bummer. And it's not cheap. Like, Brow Wizzes are what, $21 each? That's a lot. And if you're doing your brows every day, you're going to be investing a lot of money into your brows. So I ended up buying it at the 21 days of Ulta Beauty sale, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun to use because I'd never really gotten into my brows a lot, and now I can't not use it. It's the only thing I've been using. I don't even know where my brow gel is. Somewhere. But side note, yeah, $21 is a crazy price. But it's almost like they know how good it is. And I know that everyone calls Anastasia the queen of brows, but that's because she truly is. And her products are just amazing. And I think that's why I put it off for so long subconsciously, because I was like, oh my gosh, if I start buying this, it's going to be something I'm going to have to repurchase over and over again. Thank you so much for complimenting my top. It's actually a dress, but obviously you can't see like down below. But it's just like a cute little dress. I call it my house dress because it's super, super comfortable to wear. And I wear it like all the time. Like I'll come home and just throw it on because it's really lightweight and super comfy. Emily, so you rotate your products and it lasts 1.5 years. Nice. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, definitely if your collection is big enough and if you have other brow products that you really like, yeah, it would definitely last you that long. So that's awesome and good to know. I feel like, what other brow products do you like, Emily? Because, sorry, I'm picking up Sammy. He keeps knocking into the table. But I don't really have any other brow pencils that I'm a huge fan of. Those are the only ones. Or the Anastasia one is the only one that I really, really like. Oh my gosh. Hi. Oh, sleepy again? Really? You were napping for like 5 hours. What's going on, bud? Oh my gosh. So this is kind of a crazy story, but my great-grandfather is in the hospital right now, and he's actually recovering, which is crazy, because he had really severe heart failure. But now at this point, he is on the up and up and he's doing really, really well. So this dog right here, Pamela, he's called a Shih Tzu. Mommy, AKA me, gave him like a shaving. So he probably looks a little bit weirder than most Shih Tzus. But it's really expensive to groom dogs. So we just bought a grooming kit and I just shaved him. And he likes it a lot better than going to those people at the vet. Oh my gosh. All right. So what was I saying? I don't know. Oh, my great-grandfather. So he served in World War II. And yes, he's still alive. We have like a very young family. But he is in his 90s. So he had never connected with Veteran Affairs. For those of you who don't know, who like you're in a different country or something, just the VA? No, it's just for the United States for us, I think. Anyways, so the VA is like the big organization for veterans in the United States military. And they connect you afterwards with medical benefits. So basically he had never signed up for that until now. My grandmother, his daughter, signed him up because he just needed a lot of medical assistance and money. So when she applied for him, she had to get all of his discharge paperwork, and he has 2 medals of honor. Like, that is a big deal for World War II. That's a big freaking deal. So that's kind of crazy. It was just like a totally random thing that happened today. my mom called me. She was like, did you know that your grandfather was like totally bad ASS? I was like, no, that's so cool. All right. So Emily, you said the brow definer. So I've thought about that. I've heard it's really, really easy to use because it's just like the angle, right? And then you just kind of do the lines and you're good to go. I would love for my brows to be easier. That's what I'm all about whenever it comes to my brows. And then NYX Micro Brow Pencil. So I actually have that and I like it a lot, but for some reason I put it down, and I think it was because mine started to get like old and just not ashy. What's the right word? Like it wasn't creamy anymore. So I think it was just like gunked up and I just stopped using it. I probably should get a new one. And I've heard some people complain about the consistency of the formula. Like sometimes they'll get one and it's almost as creamy as the brow is. And then they'll get another one and it's kind of like patchy and just not very good. So Chalupa, no, sir. We do not growl like that. Oh my gosh. It literally is like having little fur children running around. Yeah, it's drier. That's the word I was trying to find. It's like weird, right? So yeah, I think the brow definer I would go really well with because everything I've heard just makes it sound a lot easier. So I feel like I'm going to do a Q&A or something. Hold on. Who is that? Sorry, I have a friend texting me from work. Okay. So I feel like I want to find a Q&A online or something and just do some random stuff. If you guys want to do that. What's your favorite eyeshadow palette? All right. Let me think about this. I would have to say Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance. And that is for kind of like the very warm toned, like cranberry browns, that sort of thing. I love cranberry on the eyes. And then I also really love the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. That is like my ride or die for colorful makeup. So that's like my favorite. Favorite makeup. Thank you, Pamela. You're like coming through with the questions right now. I don't even have to look it up. Okay. So favorite makeup store would have to be Ulta. I love Sephora, but at the same time, they pretty much, well, they've kind of transitioned a little bit now, but they pretty much only they only sell high-end brands. And I love the fact that Ulta has the like complete side of drugstore. Like I love the fact that they have very affordable brands. That's one of my favorite things about them. I also love the fact that they have a legitimate reward system. For me, Ulta or Sephora, their rewards points and everything is just bogus because half the time the gifts are like tiny for your points. And I am just not about that life. Whereas for Ulta, you actually get money back that you can spend on products that you want. And you're not just trading it in for this crummy gift that doesn't really fit what you're looking for. So I love their reward system. And I also love their, giant sales that they have, and they always have a coupon like $3.50 off for the drugstore side of things. And then they always have their Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, which is like huge. They get 40 to like 60% off of high-end brands. That's big. Whereas Sephora only does like 15 to 20% off. So I don't know. It just seems like silly to me. So favorite makeup brand. I would say Tarte, but I feel like that is changing for me a little bit. As I mentioned, like throughout this live feed, I'm just not liking their attitude that they're giving off. So I would have to say that I love ColourPop. And I also love NYX and Anastasia Beverly Hills. Yeah, favorites. Okay, so you're drinking cranberry juice right now. I love it. Emily, you said Modern Renaissance, hands down. Yes, girl. That is honestly my favorite palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's just so good. Like, they have the right opaqueness, the right creaminess. It's not too dusty. Doesn't have a ton of kickback compared to some of their other palettes. And yes, the BH Festival palette. Have you swatched it, Emily? You have to at least swatch it because I'm telling you, girl, it is so good. Like, the pigmentation is killer. And I'm sure you've seen like some of my, my more recent videos doing the colorful eye looks. Pretty much all of those have been from the festival palette, and they blend so, so well. And yes, Sephora Rewards do suck. Hardcore. Hi, baby. What's she doing? Hi. He's like over here, like, pet me, mommy. Do I like e.l.f. cosmetics? Yes, I love e.l.f. Actually, one of my favorite. You haven't swatched it, Emily? Oh my God. Girl, you need to, like, when the baby is asleep, you need to go and get that palette and you need to swatch it for me because you're going to die. I promise you. But I love e.l.f. Their hydrating primer, Pamela, is like one of my favorite primers of all time. It's so hydrating. I also love their blush quads. And I just purchased, this was on my Wishlist Wednesday video a hot minute ago, but I just purchased the Mad for Mattes Jewel Pop eyeshadow palette and I swatched it. And girl, that palette is amazing. It is so pigmented and buttery. Like, it felt like I was dipping my finger into a Super Shock eyeshadow from ColourPop. It is so creamy and buttery. All right. So do I shop at Walmart for makeup? I shop. Okay. So I have a Target like really close to me. So I pretty much go to Target just because I like Target more. And so normally I will shop for my drugstore makeup either at Ulta or Target, but I have bought a lot of my Flower Beauty from Walmart. So I have bought makeup from Walmart, but the Walmart that is near my house, I feel like people just go into the makeup section and they just like swatch everything and open it up, and it's always just nasty, and they have like products that are half opened on the shelves and stuff. So it's just not my favorite place to shop where I'm at. So that's why I prefer Target. The baby won't go to sleep. Daddy is throwing cheesies across the floor for him. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait for kiddos. I know that my dogs are going to love having children around. They just love kids every single time we come up to a kid, especially Duchess. She loves the attention. And I know that kiddos, for the most part, really like animals. So I'm excited for that. But that is so funny that Daddy's throwing cheesies. Oh God. I feel like that's definitely something my husband would do too. He's going to be such a great dad. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's just Walmart for some reason has a tendency to draw people in who just open up makeup products and leave them there. I know that it's nice to be able to swatch stuff, but it's like, there's an Ulta 10 minutes away, you know, why don't you just go there? I don't know. It's pretty much the same price. So it's just frustrating whenever you walk in and like for example, I'll find like a Flower Beauty product that I want, but all three of the shades that I want are torn and ripped open and used. So that's not really something that I'm super excited about, I guess you could say, which is weird because like Target doesn't, yeah, everything is open for sure, but Target isn't really like that. At least the Targets that I've been to in my area, we don't really have that problem. And I know one area, like they're literally right across the street from each other. So I don't really know what that's about, but I just feel like it's frustrating. Maybe Walmart should get testers and it would help with that problem. And then they wouldn't have to Yeah, even when they have testers, the others are open. My cat is biting my dog right now. They're playing. I wish you guys could see it, but I don't even know what they're doing. Yeah, it's just like really frustrating. All right, so I'm going to do a beauty Q&A. I'm looking it up on my phone. We'll see. All right, 30 beauty questions tag, the beauty selection. We'll see how this goes. I feel like maybe I've already done this one. Okay. Maybe I've already done this one, but we'll just do it together since we're already here hanging out, right? I need to plug my computer in because it'll die. Thanks, Sammy. You're such a good boy. He's playing with his little toy down there. All right, so the very first one, ooh, I had like a little blackout on my screen. That was weird. The first one is, do you remember your first makeup item? Oh my God. Oh, y'all, that was a long time ago. I want to say it was definitely a lip product. And do y'all remember it was at Walmart? I feel like the NYC brand that had the really frosty lip glosses. I feel like that was my first makeup product ever, which is probably why I have such a dislike towards metallic lip glosses and liquid lipsticks. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was. Also, if y'all want to like ask me questions, I will definitely answer your question instead of like going through the list. So just wanted to open it up and let you know. All right, describe your perfect mascara. Have you found one that fits your specifications? Okay. So my favorite, well, my perfect formula would be not too wet. Definitely there whenever you pull it out of the tube. I've had some mascaras where you pull it out and it's like, is there even anything on the wand? So I would love it to be in between wet and dry because for me, when a mascara is too dry, it tends to fall down onto my under eye or my cheeks. It like flakes off. And I want something that is going to give me texture and volume. And then also one that is going to like give me a length, but not too spidery. So pretty much the perfect mascara you could ever hope for, right? So your first was a make your own lip gloss lab set. Yes, girl. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. I don't even think, oh my gosh, my dog is like, what? I think he has to go potty. Would you guys hate me if I like pause for just a second to let him go? Because I don't want him to tinkle on the floor. Yeah, so that is really cool, Emily. It'll literally take like 2 seconds to let him out because he's really good. I'll be right back. I just don't want him to have an accident. So I'm sorry, guys. I'll be back. Hi, baby. You want to go potty? Okay. Let's go potty. Oh my gosh. No one's going to be there. Oh my gosh, you guys are still here. Okay. Sorry about that. Sammy like went out too and he just like ran out of the room. So I apologize for that. I don't know why it's not. I guess there's a really long delay. There we go. Okay. So I came back. Wyatt heard the dog panting is now patiently waiting to see. Aw. Come here, Sammy. Come here. We gotta see. Come on. Come here, baby. Oh my gosh, she's running around with a toy. Come on, Nugget. Okay. Say hi. Hi, we got a little baby who wants to see you. Oh, he really wants the toy because the other dogs. I don't know if you can see him, Emily, but hi. Say hi, Wyatt. Okay, you want to go play? Okay. It's like scratching at me. Now we got everyone in here. That was so much fun. All right. So I apologize if you guys can hear them. They're all four of them are in here right now. Okay. So again, I'm just going to kind of like read from my list. But if you guys have any questions yourself, like just ask me and I'll jump off and answer your question. Number 3, what kind of coverage do you prefer from foundation? So cute. Thank you. Yeah, he is just awesome. So I really prefer, honestly, like medium to full coverage. Oh, Doug. Oh my God. You are killing me, Emily. That is so freaking cute. I love it. Oh, that's so cute. I really want a baby now. You're giving me baby fever. Stop it. So I love medium to full coverage. The reason for that is because I do get a lot of redness. And for me, it's like when I'm doing a really colorful look, I prefer to have that medium to full coverage just to make sure that the redness doesn't pop out and kind of distract from my eyes or my lips. So that's why I prefer medium to full. Now, if I'm just going for a super natural look with just like a little bit of eyeshadow, mascara, some bronzer, and lips, then I don't really mind if it's like a lighter coverage. If I'm going to wear foundation and feel the foundation on my skin, then I don't want to wear like a light coverage because I feel like it defeats the purpose. But that's just my personal opinion. So, all right. Favorite high-end brand. I would say at this point, a brand that I really love and care for is Anastasia of Beverly Hills. I feel like at this point, pretty much every single thing that I have tried from Anastasia, I have fallen in love with. I know that the liquid lipsticks that they have going I feel like that I want them to revamp their formula because there have just been so many other brands that have perfected the liquid lipstick formula, and they could do their brand more justice by relaunching their formula. Obviously, that takes a lot of time and effort, but I feel like it's something that they should do. So, number 5, what cosmetic brands have you always wanted to try but still haven't? So, this was really similar to I think it was like 8 brands I wanted to try in 2018 or something like that, but I made a video about this. I'll try to find it somewhere like in the deep abyss of my videos and link it down below. But A brand I've really, well, actually some of them I have tried. Like Dose of Colors was definitely on that list and I have tried. I purchased their liquid lipstick in Truffle, which is beautiful. It's a really, really nice shade. Another brand I've wanted to try. See, I have Hourglass. Oh my gosh. I feel like I need to go back and look at that. Nothing's really popping into my head right now. So I don't know. Like, trying to think of like indie brands too that I really wanted to try, but nothing is coming. I feel like Makeup Revolution was on my list as well. Wait, maybe, no, it wasn't. I don't think so. You still haven't tried a Flower Beauty? Oh my God. Girl. I mean, I could definitely see that. There are some brands that a lot of people are really into that I just haven't tried as well. Like Dose of Colors was one of them. I have been doing this for 3 years and still hadn't tried anything by Dose of Colors. So I feel you. Sometimes you just don't do it. You know, you get stuck in the brands that you enjoy or you get excited about other launches and you decide to go with that instead. So I totally understand. You also did the 8 brands. So let me know, can you like link your video or I'll just go and find it on your channel because I would love to watch that. It'd be so much fun. I love videos like that. And yeah, I can't really think of any other brands. Sorry, it's just not coming to me. It's also like late, so my brain's not working. All right. What is your favorite drugstore brand? Oh my gosh. I feel like drugstore or affordable because there is a difference. You know what I mean? For drugstore, I would have to say NYX. And then just affordable brands, I would have to say ColourPop. Yes, that is my decision. All right, Emily, you said it's not in Walmart in Canada. I'll have to order it from Ulta online. Yeah, that sucks. That's really weird that they, I mean, I don't know if that's weird or not that different countries have different brands. But that's a bummer because so their liquid lipstick right here, it's called Miracle Matte Lip. Oh my gosh, girl. So they're $10, $9.99. And this one is amazing. I'm going to swatch it for you. I don't know if you've seen my video with my favorite liquid lipstick formula, but oh, it feels like cold. So this is what it looks like. Good night. Oh my gosh, it's 4:30 in the morning. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me. That's awesome. So I hope you have a beautiful night and sweet dreams. Thank you so much for watching. And hopefully I am going to be on the computer live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. So if you're awake, I'll be here then. I hope you have a good night. But this one is in the shade Soft Berry, Emily. So it's gorgeous. And the formula feels like water on the lips. It is amazing. So awesome. All right. Do you wear fake eyelashes? So I used to wear fake eyelashes a lot whenever I first started my channel and even like into the time that I've been here. But as time went on, I realized they really just annoy me and I don't like them on my eyes for a long period of time. So now I only wear them on rare occasions and more so whenever I'm filming like dramatic eye looks, because sometimes it just looks better whenever you have a eyelash that is more voluminous on a dramatic eye look. So that's just what I prefer at this point. I do have a pair. They're called Featherette by House of Lashes, and they are like the most comfortable eyelashes I've ever worn. And whenever I say, like me, Brianna, that they are truly comfortable to wear and it doesn't even feel like you have anything on your eyes, you know I mean it, because I am the type of person who literally after a video even, I will rip them off. Like sometimes you'll see me to where I'll film a makeup tutorial with eyelashes and then I'll film another video right after that and I won't have my lashes on anymore because I could not even deal with it. So yeah, Emily, I'm glad I'm not alone because I feel like so many vloggers for beauty are really into fake eyelashes, which I'm envious of. Like, you know, I feel like it does complete looks sometimes, but I just I can't do it all the time. So that's why I don't. Is there any kind of makeup you can't leave the house without? So no. I would say that 90% of the time I am not wearing makeup. Not 90%. I'd probably say like 80% of the time. And that's mostly because I get up early during the week and I love to sleep. So I will try to press snooze as many times as I can. And I just end up not having time to do my makeup. So I just won't. But if I am going for a very minimal look or I'm just trying to make myself look more awake, I love mascara and lip gloss. That to me, you don't really need anything else. If you're going for something very simple, just brightening your face, a good mascara can just open your eyes and make you look like you're more aware. And it just, to me, makes your face look more complete sometimes, especially if you have eyelashes like mine that do not curl up. Mine go straight out. So we don't have like that nice curl to them to where you see them. So it just literally looks like my eyeball is naked or my eyelid is naked and there's nothing like poking out of it because you can't really see my eyelashes unless I have mascara on. And then lip gloss is always just nice because I feel like it just kind of completes the look and it just adds a little bit of femininity to it. So next up, what is your most cherished beauty product? Cherished or favorite? I feel like, oh my gosh, hi baby. Okay, so I'll go with favorite beauty product of all time. And then, Chalupa, hi. You want some mommy? Hi. Can you guys hear him? He's like so whiny right now. But my most cherished would probably have to be my Tarte blush in the shade Exposed. That was the blush I wore on my wedding day. And I actually have a picture of me like holding open the compact and like applying the blush. And my photographer did such a beautiful job with that because obviously I love makeup and it was just a nice touch to have for my wedding day. So that's probably my most cherished because it reminds me of my wedding day. And then my most favorite like makeup product, I would say, is Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. And I say that because it is a product that now at this point, I cannot see myself living without. Like it is such a bomb foundation for my personal needs that I don't like find myself reaching for my other foundations unless I am trying to be more cognizant and saying like, Brianna, you need to reach for this because you haven't used it on your channel in a long time. So that is probably my all-time favorite product. I put it on. It never lets me down. It always gives the same finish that I'm looking for. And I love it. Like it is literally my favorite product in my entire collection. I'm obsessed. All right. How often do you shop for makeup? And do you like to pick up an item here and there or get lots of goodies at once? So, I'd say that I shop for makeup kind of here and there. If I see a product that I really have to have my hands on, if it's more expensive, I'll try to actively save up for it. So probably about once a month, I'll add a new product to my collection. And that's even affordable products. It's not like I do big hauls all the time. Even the hauls that you guys have seen on my channel, most of the time, if they're bigger, it's purchases that I've made over a period of time, and I've just saved up the products and shown you at once, because as a student at this point, we just don't have, my husband and I are both students, and we work part-time, part-time. So when I say my job, it's actually a practicum. So if you aren't familiar with that term, it's kind of like a rotation for medical doctors, something like that. So you don't get paid. You just do the work, and it's part of your educational experience. So the hours go towards your training and your licensure. All right, Emily, you said, do you have dry skin? I want to try the foundation, but have combo skin and worried it won't hold up well throughout the day. So I have a combination skin as well. So my T-zone gets oily throughout the day, and like around my face, I will get dry patches, and underneath my eyes, I will get dry patches. So what I will do is, for that foundation specifically, I will actually set my entire face with a powder. Now, I try not to bake with that foundation, mostly because I feel like sometimes baking, and it's probably just the powders that I have because the foundation is really good. But whenever I bake with the powders I have, it tends to break up the foundation just a little bit. So it's not my favorite thing to do. So I'll just set, and I'll either use a damp beauty sponge to kind of keep some of that moisture in my skin so it doesn't cling to the dry patches. So I'll either use like a damp beauty sponge and just dip it into the powder and like set it like that, or I will just lightly tap the powder onto my T-zone area and then let the rest of my face go without powder. And it actually holds up really, really well. Hi, Pamela. I'm glad you're still here. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. It's been a good time. So for the foundation, I have worn it sometimes like between 8 to 10 hours, and it still holds up by the end of the day. So I haven't had any problems with it, and it actually looks better throughout the day. So I'll put it on, looks good. And then as the day goes on, it actually like kind of becomes my skin, if that makes any sense at all. It just looks like my skin, but way better. So it doesn't enhance my pores or anything like that. It's really weird. They created a beautiful foundation, and I will always purchase it from here on out. So you had a co-op work terms during your degree. Luckily, we're paid. Yeah, so for all of last year, my practicum was not paid. This year, I have my practicum site is like minimum wage, like bare bones minimum. So where normally we would be getting paid, come here, honey, as a psychologist around like $140 to $180 an hour, which is a lot of money. We get paid $9.50 an hour. And that has been me working there for almost a year now. So yeah, it's tough sometimes, you know, whenever you're a student, you're working your way up, because you definitely don't get paid the same. Well, obviously for us, like anywhere close. So it's a little bit frustrating at times. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Do you have a beauty budget, or do you spend freely? So I used to have a beauty budget whenever YouTube wasn't a total troll and decided to like really hurt small creators. At this point, I am not making any money from YouTube at all, like not even cents or pennies, because I have the subscriber amount, but I do not have the watch time. So you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time per 12 months. And that's constantly changing. So if one month I have a really great month and people are watching my content, then that's great. And then the next month, if I'm either not putting up or people just aren't as interested, then it drops back down. So it's like constantly changing. So I no longer make money because I'm not meeting that particular threshold. So with that being said, before, when I would make some money from YouTube, I would just keep that money and put it back into my business. But now at this point, I'm having to use like external money that doesn't come from YouTube, obviously. So I will try to save like $10 to $20 a month and kind of put it in a little pot for myself. And that way, if a month rolls around that I really want a high-end product, I'm able to purchase that for myself, but it's not a very big budget, obviously. So do you utilize coupons, rewards cards, and sales when you shop for cosmetics? Yes, I talked about that earlier. Most of the coupons I find on like Ulta.com or whatever, and then the rewards cards I have for pretty much every place that I shop at. Even the cosmetic brands, I will like get on their email list, so I'll get the percentage off just to save some moolah. What type of product do you buy the most of? I would say that is a mixture between lip products and hi. Nice to see you. I would say it's definitely between lip products and eyeshadow products. So whether that be palettes or whatever, those two items are definitely the most purchased and the things that I have the most of in my collection. I also have been loving blushes lately. Like I'm going through this phase to where I'm just obsessed with blush. So I've added a lot of blush to my collection more recently. Is there a brand that you absolutely can't stand? I don't know why I'm like in my armpits right now. I'm getting delirious, you guys. It's too late. So the brand that I cannot stand, I've talked about this once or twice on my channel. I think once was during an anti-haul. Okay. That's nice. See this like giant diamond on my finger? So it's like really shiny. But anyways, Jeffree Star Cosmetics. So I have some thoughts on Mr. Jeffree Star. I don't really like what he stands for. I don't like his attitude. I feel like he will be friends with someone in the industry and then all of a sudden they are at each other's throats. And I've never seen that with anyone else in the beauty industry. And it really bothers me. And I also don't like his maliciousness. I feel like he comes at people unnecessarily. Like he makes bank. You know what I'm saying? And someone, yes, thank you, Emily. Someone who is that, hold on one second. Just, what am I trying to say? I just don't understand like his attitude. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. So he's just not a very nice person from my perspective. And I don't understand someone who can go through friends that easily and has that many problems with people. Plus his language. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I do cuss every now and then on my channel, but I don't use it in such a terse and like nasty and derogatory way, I guess. So yeah, Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Also, I just feel like I don't like his style of packaging and branding and everything like that. I don't know. It just feels tacky to me. Not a huge fan. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So yeah, you know what I mean? You're not into it either. I just feel like you either are or you aren't. And if you are, that's perfectly okay. I support you and like what you want. But Chalupa, come here, honey. Come on. Sorry, he's like so anxious. Hi, baby. You know, it's okay to just be okay, right? All right, moving on to the next question. Do you avoid certain ingredients in cosmetics like parabens or sulfates? So I don't necessarily go way out of my way to, but if I see a product that is without parabens or sulfates, I am probably more likely to purchase that than I am to not purchase it if it's something that I really want. I also, and I mentioned this in my favorite lipsticks video, I prefer products that have more natural ingredients because I want to try to be as healthy as I can. And I know that we don't have a huge understanding of the chemicals that are in makeup brands at this point. There's still a lot of research that needs to be done in the links to cancer. So if I see there's like a BPA, maybe it's not BPA. I feel like that's for canned foods, but there is an ingredient preservative that starts with B that ends up hurting or like leading loosely to cancer. So I try to make cognizant efforts of looking at the ingredients, but I'm not the best at it, if that makes sense. Okay. Do you like trying new skincare products or do you keep a certain routine? Oh my gosh. So yes, this is one of my favorite like parts of my beauty regimen. I love makeup, but for me, what I always say is that your best face is going to be best when you have really great skincare. And that's not just for people who love makeup. That is just for people in general who want to feel good and secure about themselves. Because as someone who has suffered with acne on and off throughout her life, and also my sister has really suffered with acne, sometimes it makes you feel insecure whenever you have acne on your face. Like it just doesn't feel good. So I love skincare. Right now, I am hugely on the Pacifica Beauty bandwagon. Honestly, they just need to send me their stuff because I talk about them so much and I buy so much of their stuff. It's like, come on, I want a PR package. Be my first, please. So yeah, I love them so much, so much. But yeah, so skincare is huge. I tend to stick with products that work really well for me. I'm also really open to trying new skincare. It's not like I'm strict in my regimen in the sense that I'm not religious to my products. I love them, but if there's something else that comes out, then I will try it. So yeah, that's kind of my philosophy on that. I am much more likely to try out masks because I feel like that's a good indicator of a brand. If they can do a mask really well, then it's a good testament to the brand, I feel like, because it's hard to find a really good mask that does an awesome job. All right, favorite bath and body brand. Tree Hut, I would have to say. I love their scrub and I also love their bath products. Just in general, I think their scrubs are really awesome because they're not too harsh on my sensitive skin. And they also add a lot of moisture back into my skin. So I will use that on the back of my legs because I am sitting so much. Sometimes I will get like, after I shave, this is TMI, but maybe like little blackheads or kind of ingrown hairs, you know, just stuff that women get from shaving. So I will use the Tree Hut body scrub and I love it. It is amazing. I also love their shea butters. They smell really delicious. I believe they have a mango one. Yeah, Emily, so that's a great question. I want to say pretty much everything that I own at this point, like my shampoo and conditioner are cruelty-free. My body wash from Tree Hut is. I haven't found, I will say this, I have not found a shaving cream that is cruelty-free. Is Up and Up cruelty-free from Target? I feel like maybe it is. I don't know. But I typically use Up and Up from Target for shaving cream. And I think at this point, that's the only beauty product I use that may or may not be cruelty-free. But I try really hard. I had this huge life transition moment for my channel specifically and for my makeup after seeing this video, and it just like ripped my insides apart. It was so devastating to see the animal testing that's done specifically in China, to where they just don't care and they have no laws for animals. So yeah, I try really, really hard. And I think at this point, pretty much everything is except for shaving cream, and that I'll have to check on, because they're just not, EOS is not cruelty free. I was shocked because they're like this whole healthy, natural brand, right? Like their lip balm and everything. So last time I checked, which was probably 6-7 months ago, they were not on the cruelty free list, which sucks because they have really awesome lip products and they also have a shaving cream. So hopefully they make the transition. Some companies don't register. So for cruelty free, in my eyes, what you need to be is basically like not have any testing done yourself for your makeup products, the final product, as well as the ingredients, not let your lab or a third party test your final product or the ingredients. I can actually look them up right now just to triple check, because let me see. I'm talking. But they also need to not sell in countries that require imports and sold goods for cosmetics to be tested on animals, which includes mainland China. So come here, baby. I know, I miss daddy too. Just want him to come home, but he's working with the people. All right, so I'm looking on Logical Harmony's list right now. And I am not, yeah, they're not on the list. So if you don't know, Logical Harmony is run by a blogger who like constantly emails companies and gets updates and asks all the right questions. So like the 3 main questions she asks all the people that are on her list. So she has a running list that she updates like weekly, I think. So yeah, that was a big decision for me, because obviously as a beauty vlogger, you want to be able to participate and try out new products that come out, and being cruelty free definitely narrows the playing field. So like Benefit and NARS now at this point, and Clinique, like just all the really, really big companies don't or aren't cruelty free. They sell in mainland China. And after seeing that video and doing more research and just realizing like I am putting on blush that a dog or a monkey or some sort of animal was tortured for, like, I'm sorry, but makeup is just not that important to me. You know what I mean? And it's a decision everyone has to make for themselves. And I completely support people who aren't cruelty free in the sense that I support freedom of choice. So it was just a decision that I had to make at that point in my life. So yeah, just my thoughts, my decision. Trying to think. Oh, I still had more questions, I think. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I have been on here for so long. I don't even know if I should put this up on my channel. People aren't going to watch this. But we have had a lot of fun. Yes, we have. And that is all that matters. All right. If you could only buy from one brand, which brand would you choose? Does ColourPop have a foundation yet? If they do, I feel like they don't. But if they did, it would be ColourPop. And what else? I would probably say at this point, because they have like everything that I need, minus the mascara, it would be Anastasia Beverly Hills. See, I feel like it's so hard because almost every makeup brand, except for the really, really big ones that have been around for a long time, like Urban Decay, they don't have every single product you need for your face. So Anastasia needs to get on that, and so does ColourPop. All right, what brand do you think has the best packaging? I love Tarte packaging. I think that they do a really, really nice job. I also really like Urban Decay packaging. I think it's funky and cool and kind of like rocker chick, which I really love. And I also really like Flower Beauty's packaging. I just think it's cute and feminine and sweet. And I love the white with the rose gold. Oh my gosh. Freaking love it. So pretty. All right, what else do we have? Which celebrity always has great makeup? Oh my God. Sammy just came in and tackled his toy. I don't really follow celebrities a lot. That's not my thing. Like someone will be talking to me about who's in the latest movie, and I'm like, huh? Who's that? If it's not Thor, I don't know who it is, okay? I only know who Chris Hemsworth is. No, but seriously, like I have my very few like favorite famous people, and Reese Witherspoon is one of them, and J-Law. But who has the best makeup? Am I about to say Kim Kardashian? Oh my God, I am. That's so crazy. But honestly, she definitely, I mean, Mario is an amazing makeup artist, but yeah, she always has beautiful makeup. Scarlett Johansson, I love her makeup, mostly because it's so understated, but still has that pop of red most of the time for her lips. And that to me is just classic beauty. That is timeless. It will never get old. So I love, love, love that kind of stuff. Kind of makeup looks. So do you belong to any online makeup communities? No. No, I only have my YouTube channel. I do follow my YouTube babes. So yeah, other than that, I'm not like a part of any cool community or anything other than my cool YouTube peeps. 5 favorite beauty gurus. I'm going to go for the big ones because like all of my like legit favorites are all my friends who have smaller channels. And whenever I say smaller, I mean like less than 200,000. So I love Jaclyn Hill, Casey Holmes, Babs Beauty, also known as Stephanie. And I also love I'm Just a Makeup Lover. And let me see. I'll be able to tell you who else is on my list over here. Okay. Feel like Kathleen Lights. Duh. Freaking love her. She's amazing. I just haven't been watching her a lot lately because I've been obsessed with Casey Holmes. So I've been binge watching her videos. Do you like, excuse me, sorry. Do you like multifunctional products like lip and cheek stains? No. No, I hate them. And the reason why is I feel like they aren't good. They are, okay, so they might be good for both, but they're not great. So I would much rather have one product that is great than one product that is just good at 2 things. So like I have a, like the little Tarte push-up cream lip / cheek thing. And I'm just not a huge fan of that. So I don't know, not the best. All right. I have one more question on here, and then I think it's okay for us to get off. So unless you guys have any other questions, I can definitely hang around. I just feel like I don't want this to drag on and be annoying. So let me figure out what question I want to answer. Okay, this one's kind of fun. So how many hair products do you use on a typical day? 2, my shampoo and conditioner. I am so bad at my hair, y'all. Like I hardly ever use mousse or anything like that. Yeah, same. I should probably get to bed too. Or at least go and watch some TV or something because my voice is getting hoarse. But yeah, I'm so bad with my hair. And this is pretty much what it looks like for the most part. It's just super straight. I do run an iron through it towards the top just to like get out the kinks. Or just dry shampoo. Yeah, so that's pretty much my routine. If I didn't work out that day, then the next day I'll just use dry shampoo for sure. But other than that, I don't really use anything else. Like I said, sometimes just a mousse. But yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for sticking it out with me. I really appreciate it. It was so much fun and it helped to pass a lot of the time while my hubby is gone. So that was really, really helpful. And I had a blast. And I will be on tomorrow, Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. So yeah, I hope that you guys have a great night tomorrow. I'm just going to be doing my makeup with some different products and getting ready to take my mom out shopping. So good night, and I hope you have a fabulous dreaming process. I don't know. It's too late. All right. Bye, you guys. Bye, Emily. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.